Welcome to a core strengthening or abdominal strengthening class today. And you don't need any equipment, just yourself and some enthusiasm. So you might need, this mat is quite thin and the floor is quite hard. Sometimes I use a thicker mat. But some people's tailbones stick out a little bit, so it might be that you want to sit on a little towel or a cushion if you find that your tailbone does hurt. So it's not with everybody. Some people's tailbones just stick out a little bit more. So we are going to start in a seated position, nice and tall. So often this position can be quite a challenge, and you might start to notice a burning in your thighs. Okay, so that's your hip flexor muscles. Yes, it's going to burn for some people, but let's just embrace that burn. Now, from here, I want you to lengthen your spine up towards the ceiling. Pull the shoulders forward, take them up to your ears, and just drop them down the back. So the more you lengthen your spine, hopefully the more you can feel your abdominals draw in. Take the hands to the back of the legs, nice and relaxed. As you breathe out, you're going to hug the tummy in and start to push your belly button. I'm going to keep that arm out the way. Pull the belly button towards the floor as though you're aiming for there. And you can see how the lower back's starting to round, coming off of the sitting bones towards the coccyx, and then maybe just towards the sacroiliac joint, the hard part of the back of the pelvis. So you can see my spine is quite round, which means my gaze is going to go kind of towards the knees, somewhere around there. Now hug your tummy in. Think of bringing your rib cage and your hip bones closer together. It doesn't really matter if you do the next part on the inhale or exhale. Listen to your body. Bring yourself back up and then lengthen. So we flex in the spine and straighten the spine. So breathe in. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Hug your tummy in, hug it in, hug it in. So really focus on the front of the body, pushing the body backwards. See if your legs are active. Can you try and relax those legs a little bit? And then bring yourself back up, grow nice and tall. If you want to go a little bit harder, you can take the hands out to the front, or you can just stay holding the back, okay? So feel what your body, if you feel like you want a little bit more, just hold your hands out to the front. So inhale, grow nice and tall. As you exhale, draw that tummy in, send yourself off the sitting bones towards the coccyx, perhaps a little bit further. Hold that position, keeping your spine exactly where it is. See if you can reach the arms a little bit more forward. Hug the tummy in. Now check your knees. Are your knees closing together or wobbling? Can you keep your knees in exactly the same position? Relaxing your legs. Even try a little bit harder. Try and not grip with the front of the thighs. Try and use these abdominals. And then bring yourself back up again. Grow nice and tall. Let's do one more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck in the tailbone under, hug the belly in. As you start to send your spine backwards, focus on keeping the knees and the feet exactly where they are. Reach the arms slightly forward. Think of drawing your rib cage and your hip bones closer together, so really pulling into the lower back. So imagine that you could reach your tummy forward and send it into that lower part of the spine, so really hugging in. On your inhale or exhale, your choice, bring yourself back up again, grow nice and tall. Just relax, take your legs to butterfly and give them a little flap. So how does the front of the legs feel? We're actually going to change this very slightly. So we had the toes down. This time I want you to take your toes high. Or perhaps if your toes were high, take them down, and let's see if that makes any difference for you. So you might already feel the front of your legs are working. Take the hands out to the front, breathe in. So really actively pull your feet back. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, hug the belly in, take it back a little bit further. So going towards the coccyx, then towards the hard part of the back of the pelvis, reaching those arms forward. So for me personally, I find this a little bit harder. Probably most people should. And then bring yourself back up again, grow nice and tall. Let's do a couple more. Breathe in. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Take take it back. Holding it there, hug your tummy in, lengthen the arms forward, gaze is towards the knees. Bring yourself back up again. Grow nice and tall. Last one. As you exhale, reaching the arms forward, relax the shoulders down the back. So just be mindful that there's no tension. Because your toes are lifting, these are active. When these are active, they can't help the abdominals as much as if the toes were flat. And then bring yourself back up again, grow nice and tall. And then butterfly legs, or give your legs a shake. So I'm not going to go into the dynamics of it because it can be a little bit complicated. But sometimes when we're doing an abdominal workout, the front of the legs can almost act like abdominal muscles. They're kind of trying to help the abdominals to do the job, which if we're doing abdominal work, we want the abdominals to do the work. So when you lift the toes, it's giving those hip flexor muscles something to do, and then they're not as good as helping the abdominals. So that's why you might feel it a little bit more in the abdominals, which is what we're after. So we're going to add in another little exercise to this now. So I'll demonstrate and then you can join in. Again, you can use the hands with this one as well. I'll just do one. So as you exhale, take it back. Now I'm going to give you the choice of whether you want to keep those toes down or whether you want to keep them up. Entirely up to you. Now what we're going to do is stabilize this position. We're going to hold this position. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring your right knee towards your chest. So notice that my knee joint hasn't moved. It's the thigh bone that I've pulled towards the chest. Hold it there and then bring yourself back up again. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take it back. Just find that little point where you're a little bit off balance. Now your left femur bone, bring it towards the chest. So you'll find when the leg comes closer to the body, the abs have to work harder to stop you from falling. And then take it back and then bring yourself back up. Grow nice and tall. So let's say you choose what you want to do with your feet. You can have them up and down. Let's go, shall we? Take a breath. As you exhale, tucking in that tailbone. Now, if you want to work even harder, you're going to go back a little bit further. Because what's going to happen when you bring that knee in, it's heavier. So your abdominals have to really kick in a little bit more. Take the foot back down. We're going to stay there. Now, if it's too much, you go back to the start and you come back down. If you want to go a little harder, we stay there. Bring that knee back up and take it back down again. And then bring yourself back up. Grow nice and tall. So what I want you to think about when you're going back is we're trying not to be like spaghetti legs and everything's just flapping around. You want to find the point where it's challenging, but the hip is nice and still. All I'm doing is just moving that. So can you see they're very precise movements? I've got a little twitch in my left foot. And then bring it up. So there's no shaking. The knees aren't closing together. It's almost like that leg isn't even part of the body. Bring it back up again. So we're going to do two more. Breathe in. As you exhale, tuck that tailbone under. We're going to start with the left side this time. Again, if you want to work harder, going back a little bit further. So left leg comes up. Take it down. Keep drawing in that tummy. So pull the belly button in. Bring the leg back up again. And then bring the leg down. So what you want to pay attention is that your tummy's not popping out. If the tummy's popping, it's your external abdominal muscles. So I can't really. So what you want to do is pull in, okay? And then bring yourself back up again. Grow nice and tall. So often when we're doing Pilates, we want to make sure that the tummy's not bulging. Obviously, there might be fat there or whatever, but you want to hug the tummy in so that we're working the transverse abdominals, which is underneath everything. So whenever you're doing Pilates, you always want to think of pulling in. I always say to clients, make sure your belly is not popping out. So that was a lovely little core session. So if you find the front of your legs are really burning, it's completely normal. if you want to give that a little stretch, you can just come onto your front and you can just nice and gently just bring the heels to your bums, and you'll feel that it will stretch off the front of those thighs. So you can do that if you want to as well. So I hope you enjoyed that little ab burner, and I'll see you in another class soon. Take care.